Ladies and gentlemen, forgive me. I know it's been 9 or 10 days since the last upload on my YouTube channel, but forgive me, there's a few reasons for that. 1, I have school, 2, I have work, and 3, for the past week or so, I had an obsession with live streaming on Twitch since it was my first few times actually doing a live stream. So forgive me for that, but later on, I realized that I have to create a balance between live streaming and making videos on YouTube, because there's a lot of editing that goes with uploading these videos for you guys, so that's something that I had to keep in mind. So I'm gonna probably do live streams maybe once a week, and then the rest of my time, other than school and work, will be dedicated to editing, making videos like this for you guys. So today's an RSOU Wi-Fi battle. It's gonna be against the one and only Mulvone 19. And looking at team preview, looking at the both teams, my team and Mulvone's team, it could go either way, 50-50. The both teams are solid in my opinion. So the one determining factor of who is going to win this match is based on plays, and you're going to see this throughout the entirety of the battle, and you're going to pretty much I'm going to probably explain how the results of the battle came and why it came out to be that way. So let's get on the battle. If you guys want to see more Wi-Fi battles in the near future, please don't forget to leave a like below. It really shows the support. If you guys want to see more Wi-Fi battles, please hit the like button below. If you join it, only if you enjoyed the video, enjoy the Wi-Fi battle, enjoy my commentary, etc, etc, it just helps with the growth, etc, etc. So I'm gonna go lead with I Love Babies the Gengar, and he's gonna lead with the Thunderous. And I knew it wasn't meh lead, but at the same time I feel like I needed the Gengar later on throughout the battle, so I decided to switch out into Magneton, expecting a Volt Switch so that he can get the momentum. However, he does get a crit there with and Life Orb crit. That's a bad time. It just takes way too much damage. It's way too much damage, which means I have less opportunities to do hard switches into Magneton to Magneto. So I'm gonna do another hard switch here into Landorus T, so I can get the Intimidate off, which is okay with me. It is fantastic, good times. And now he goes for the Earthquake, trying to kill the Magneton later on, early on in the match, so that he can be more free with his Slowbro, so that he can do some major things later on in the match. Maybe. I'm gonna go for the U-turn as he switches into Thunderous, which is alright, because now I can go to Magneton, Choice Scarfed, I can go for a Volt Switch, and try to get some damage on this Thunderous, because Thunderous is a threat. Ain't gonna nobody playing around this bitch. So I'm gonna go for a Volt Switch there. I'm going to expect him to go for another Volt Switch, trying to knock out my Magneton. So I go for the Landorus T here, and I felt like he had Hidden Power Ice, which is a common move to have for the Thunderous. So I decided to hard switch back out into Magneton, expecting the Hidden Power Ice and expecting to live the Hidden Power Ice, even though it's Life Orb. So he does go for the Hidden Power Ice. He probably thinks that I didn't know that he would have had it, so which is alright, because now he can switch out or stay in. Either way, I can just knock it out with a Flash Cannon or do some heavy damage to any other of his pokes. I don't expect Bishop to come in like so easily here, because I could have Volt Switched, so Flash Cannon is a good time for me. So he does go for the Bishop this time, and I felt like I can go stay in, do some residual damage on the Bishop. And I felt like he could have just gone for a Sucker Punch, which was why I just did go for the Flash Cannon. But he does go for the Swords Dance, and I felt like it was a little bit too early to set up here later in the match. But Bisharp can just kill and pile through the whole entire team if it wants to. So he just sets up once with the Swords Dance and knocks me out with the Sucker Punch, which is alright for me. I can go now into Conkeldurr and try to threaten out with a Mach Punch, and he does switch out there, predicting me to go for the Mach Punch. And I did not make a prediction this turn, only because Bisharp is that type of OU Pokemon that can just pile through the entire team in one hit if he wants to. 6 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits, I don't know. So he does switch on into the Slowbro, which is fine for me. I can switch out into Latios, and I can threaten it to just do some heavy damage with the Draco Meteor if I would do so choose to. And he does go for the Side Shock. Side Shock or Scald. I expected one of those two moves, so I went for the Latios there, and he does switch out here this turn. Hard switches into Sylveon, and I knew that he was going to switch into Sylveon, so I went for the Side Shock, boy. So that's another big play there. So I was making some decent plays. The Magneton, Landorus switching on the Thunderous, and now on the Latios as he switches into Sylveon from the Slowbro. So that's a couple good plays there, because now I can knock this Sylveon out, which I do with another Side Shock. Crit did not matter, because I believe I did a little bit over 50%, so I felt like that would have knocked out even without the crit, but it could have depended on the roll. With the roll, it could survived. I don't know. So A crit just ensured my kill for the Sylveon, I believe, so that was a kind of unfortunate. So now he goes for the Garchomp, and every time he does go for the Garchomp, I can just directly go for my fully defensive, physically defensive Landorus with the leftovers, so I didn't mind that at all. So it was okay for me. I don't know. He's gonna go for the Outrage there, because now this time I can now, as he's locked into Outrage, I can go for the Stealth Rocks later this time in the game. I did not do it last time when he had the Thunderous there in the back, because he still had some momentum if I did go into Stealth Rocks early in the match. So this time I felt like it was now necessary to go for the late game Stealth Rocks. Not necessarily late game, it's more like mid game Stealth Rocks. So he's gonna go for another Outrage. For the third Outrage, he now gets confused, as I'm okay with that, and I can go for an Earthquake just to get some residual damage, because later on I can probably knock this Garchomp out with a Psyshock, or as soon as I knock out that Bisharp, because he can switch into Bisharp predicting the Psyshock. So I'm going to try to get some residual damage so I don't have to go for a Draco Meteor later on in the game with my Latios against the Garchomp, since his HP is down for the count. So I'm going to go for the U-turn there. He does hit himself, which is unfortunate, but at the same time I left my Landorus T. my Landorus T. I was gonna leave my Landorus T for Death Water anyway, so it's still unfortunate that he hits himself there. So I'm gonna go to Conkeldurr, and he does switch out here into another Pokemon that can take care of the Conkeldurr, which is gonna be the Mandibuzz, which is somewhat commendable. So I decided to go for the knock off, maybe predicting that so I can take off either the Rocky Helmet or the leftovers there, and he does reveal himself to have leftovers there, which is alright. I don't mind that at all, as I can knock it off, and he does go for the Defog there. Predicted that, so I'm gonna go for the Ice Punch, just trying to measure how much damage it would take, and it does do a decent amount, but that Mandibuzz is fully defensive. It's pretty obvious, so I'm gonna try to predict him to go for the Root Switch. He does do that, so I'm gonna go for the Drain Punch this time, trying to see how much damage this would take. So I'm looking, and it does around 50%, probably a good solid 50%. So he does go for another Roost there, and then dude go for another Drain Punch there. And it does only last for just a couple of turns, so it's not like it's gonna be consistently this way. So looking at the Drain Punch damage, it does do maybe slightly more than 50%. I'm not really sure. It's really hard to tell that range. It's really hard to tell. So he probably maybe sees that through his HP numbers, that I probably would be able to outwin that war. But I couldn't tell for myself, so I just went for the Drain Punch there, as he does switch into Slowbro this time, which is alright. Now as I switch out into Landorus T, as trying to get some Death Water so I can get a clean switch into either Gengar or Latios. I don't remember which Pokemon I would have gone into, but at the same time he does something very different for this Mega Slowbro that which you see right now. At this juncture he does go for the Calm Mind instead, which was telling me, god damn it, this is gonna be one hell of a match. It ain't gonna be easy. So looking at the Calm Mind, I feel like he's gonna probably go for another Calm Mind, which means Gengar, Latios ain't gonna do shit to the Slowbro after a second Calm Mind. So I'm gonna go for the U-turn, try to get some super effective damage, and I'm gonna try to find out which Pokemon can I situate myself to get some momentum and actually try to knock out this Mega Slowbro. So I went for the Sharpedo. He does go for the Slack Off instead, which is alright with me. But I felt like that could have probably been a mistake in my opinion. I would have gone for the Calm Mind, maybe expecting the Slowbro or Latios maybe. But I went for the Crunch on the regular Sharpedo. He probably expected me to try to go for the Protect to protect my my Sharpedo so they can Mega Evolve with +1 speed. But instead I went for the Crunch there, expecting him to predict me to do that. Because now I feel like that play was very crucial, because now I can Mega Evolve and do some even more stab, strong jaw, super effective damage with my Mega Sharpedo now. Because now it will be taking a whole hell of a lot of damage. So it took about 35% with regular Sharpedo, and now it does around like 65% with the Mega Sharpedo. It's so close to knock it out. It would have made my job easier if I was able to kill the Mega Slowbro. But unfortunately that did not happen. I did get the physically defensive drop with the Crunch, and he does get the burn in return with the Scald, and that is alright with me. In exchange, HAX for HAX, I guess. But these two Megas were playing around in the battlefield right now. They were exchanging HAX like it was no tomorrow. So I do have this Mega Sharpedo with the burn, which is, I guess, unfortunate, but it was also unfortunate that he did get defense drop, but I don't know, it mattered later on in the day. So I'm gonna go for the Ice Punch on this Mandibuzz, switch in, and He does go for the roost there, and this was a bad day for me since I only took 15% with the crunch since I'm burned. So the only way I felt like the only way I can have momentum that can be of use with this burn of Mega Sharpedo is I can get a flinch or a freeze from the Ice Fang, and guess what, bitches? I get a freeze on the Mandibus. So that was a good time for me, made my job a whole lot easier. Now I die with the burn, which means I get a clean, very clean, Mr. Clean bald head shining from the sunlight queen. Switching into Latios here. I decided to go for the Latios and try to knock this out with the Draco Meteor, which I do. It is good times. Now all he has left is his Mandibuzz, his Garchomp, and I believe slightly over half health Bisharp. So nobody wanted to take a Draco Meteor to the face, so he decides to let the Mandibuzz go since it's frozen solid, nothing else he could deal with it, so I guess that's pretty much explainable. He does go for the Garchomp afterwards, and he probably expected me to not be Scarfed because he already knew that my Magneton was Scarfed, so my team was double Scarfed, so that's a very bad time for you. I probably would have done the same thing. I probably wouldn't have expected a double Scarfed team, so so he does now go for this last Pokemon, which is going to be Bisharp, which means I pretty much win the game with my Conkeldurr. The best thing he could probably done is go for the Swords Dance, maybe try to live a move from a Latios, but he does go for the Sucker Punches to try to knock it out, but at this rate he just forfeits because at this rate he had no way of winning. So that was a good game over 19. I appreciate that. Was a tough ass battle with Mega Slowbro and Mega Sharpedo. That match could have gone either way, but I felt like throughout the match, my predictions was able to let me have the momentum throughout the battle. To a certain degree, I was pretty confident after making those plays, and it was successful. But overall, it was a good game, Mulvone 19. If you guys enjoyed this Wi-Fi battle, please don't forget to leave a like below. Just shows me that you guys want to give it support, and just helps the channel grow overall. So thanks, you guys. Thanks, guys, and I'm out of this bitch.